Hi, I'm Amanda with Gra-Mag Engineered Comfort Seating, and today we're going to show you how to install our new SteadyRide seat. Everything you see in front of me is everything you will receive in your package. All of our SteadyRide seats come with a universal riser. However, if you have a PACCAR 2.1 meter cab, you will need the longer adapter plate. If you have an international, you will need the shorter adapter plate. Also in your kit, you will have harnesses. One is the power harness and one is the communications harness. Along with the harnesses, there's also electronic hardware needed for those. You will have tether straps. There are also various nuts, bolts, and washers to complete your installation. With our SteadyRide seats, we also include 2 armrests uninstalled. That way you can verify if they will fit in your cab upon installation. For more detailed information regarding your installation, there will be a QR code attached to the outside of your package. You can scan that to access the installation manual. Included in the manual, you will find detailed instructions as well as where the various nuts, bolts, and washers need to go. After removing your current seat, you will need to either locate or create a hole to run your power harness through. If you need to create an opening through the cab floor to run your power harness through, please use a 3/4 inch bit and also use the grommet included in your kit. And now I'm going to introduce Lucas, who is going to demonstrate how to install the electronic hardware once your harness is in your cab.
At this step, these harnesses will be installed in the cab. So the first thing you're going to do is strip your wires, as you normally do. And then you're going to attach your fuse to your red wire with a butt splice right here. Now we're going to add heat shrink to the other side, or actually 2 heat shrinks. Now we're going to add a fuse holder, same deal. We're going to add our ring terminal. Crimp that. And now we're going to add this ring terminal onto the black wire. Now we're going to add our 30 amp fuse into the fuse holder. Like so. Close up the top. Push that on. And then the last thing we need to do is just heat shrink these tubes right there around the butt splice and heat up the ring terminal ends. Now with the communications harness, it'll be the same as the power harness. This should already be installed in your cab. First thing you're going to do is strip your wire, probably about double. You take it, twist it, and you fold it on itself. And then we add heat shrink to this, the communications harness. And then we add the fuse harness in. We crimp that on there. And then you heat shrink that blue connection. Now this part is something you're gonna have to determine for yourself. We include 2 fuses, and if you have an open slot in your fuse panel that is ignition, then you could just use both fuses that we included. If there's an ignition signal that you want to tap off of, you would first unplug the fuse from the fuse panel, plug that fuse into here, and then you would plug one of our 2 amps on the top, like so. And then you would plug this tap into your control panel.
The smaller connection is your communications harness. The larger connection is your power harness. When installing them, please make sure you hear the click. With the power harness, you want to ensure that the lock is secured. For optimal performance, make sure there is sufficient air within your seat to allow your indicator to turn green. Once you have your seat in your cab and you are ready to install an armrest, you will have to knock out the holes as seen here, which we've already done to show you where they go. To find the holes, all you have to do is kind of push in and you will feel the holes pop out. You take your hammer and you just hit it a few times, not too hard, and then the leather should pop off. To install the armrest, you will install it in the up position first, put your bolts in, and finger tighten them down. There are 3 bolts that will come with your seat for each armrest. Then you will take an impact, now that your seat is installed, enjoy your steady ride.